This is from New York Post. 10 middle schoolers were arrested for allegedly assaulting a Coney Island classmate in a brutal caught-on-video bus beatdown. The victim, who one fellow student later callously declared deserved it and should have died, could be heard shrieking in pain as a pack of kids collectively rained punches on him in the January 26th incident, according to footage shared with the Post and posted on social media. The boy can be seen trying to protect his head from the relentless fists while he's passed down the aisle by his attackers on an MTA shuttle bus, which brings kids to Mark Twain IS 239 for the gifted and talented. It brings them from there to the Stillwell Avenue subway station. The beating continues for several minutes, moving from the back of the cram bus to the front as the boy is punched, slapped, kicked, and even hit with a sneaker. In all, so it's 10 kids were assaulting this one kid. And these are kids apparently from a gifted and talented school, because this is what passes for gifted and talented these days. You know, I would prefer if they just got rid of the gifted and talented programs in schools than lower the standard to the point where, you know, people like this get into it. You might as well just get rid of it. I can remember gifted and talented programs when I went to school. When I was a kid, they had gifted and talented. And I remember them from the outside. I remember looking in on them. I was never invited. They never labeled me gifted and talented, and for good reason. There's a very specific kind of kid that would qualify. And these were the kids who were very academically rigorous and responsible, kind of nerdy, disciplined, hardworking, you know, all the things that I was not. And these kids certainly aren't. And yet they've made it into the gifted and talented program. And since we're going down memory lane here, here's something else. And every time I see one of these videos, I think about this. And if you're my age or older, you probably have the same thought. Something else I don't remember as a kid is I don't remember fights, quote unquote, like this. You know, and we're not even going to show you the video because you could go find it if you want. But you've seen enough videos like this. You know what it is. 10 kids like stomping the hell out of one kid. We've seen a million of these fights now. I don't remember that. You know, a gang of kids stomping the hell out of one other kid, kicking him in the head, you know, as we so often see in these videos. If the kid falls down, he starts getting kicked in the head, that sort of thing. I don't remember that. I went to a very, shall we say, as they say now, diverse school all through my public school career. They're very diverse schools. I wasn't going to prep schools for trust fund babies. And there were fights all the time. I'm only aware of maybe that I can remember maybe 2 examples in 13 years of public school where a gang of kids beat the hell out of one other kid. Maybe 2 examples. The stomping on the head thing, that again is so common now. Never saw that. Never saw it. Never heard of it. Most of the time, it's because a fight was a fight, right? And it can be brutal sometimes, but there was at least some sense of honor in it. It was usually one-on-one, and you get into a fight, you go until someone breaks it up, which most of the time is how it ends. Or if there's no one around to break it up, then you go until someone is on the ground and they're clearly defeated. When you're running a business, time is money. That's why I'm so excited to introduce you to Ramp. If you're a finance professional looking for a better way to maximize productivity and cut wasteful spending, then Ramp could be for you. Ramp is a corporate card and spend management software designed to help you save time and put money back into your pocket. With Ramp, you can issue cards to every employee with limits and restrictions. You can also stop wasting time at the end of every month by automating your expense reporting. Ramp's accounting software automatically collects receipts and categorizes your expenses in real time, so you don't have to. You'll never have to chase down a receipt again, and your employees will no longer spend hours submitting expense reports. The time you save each month on employee expenses will allow you to close your books 8 times faster. Ramp is so easy to use. Get started in less than 15 minutes, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. Get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/Walsh, spelled RAMP.com/Walsh. Again, that's ramp.com/Walsh. Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. But now there's no honor or dignity in the way that these kids just brutalize each other. It's a very unmanly, cowardly, even sort of effeminate way of fighting. And I think the difference is that historically, when 2 men or 2 boys squared off to fight, whether it was like at the playground, a playground fight, or it was a duel in the 1800s, historically, the point It was less to harm the other person, even if you did end up harming them. In the case of a duel, you might kill them. But it was less, that was not really the point. The point was to prove your own courage and toughness and masculinity to everybody else. That's what the fight was about. And you wanted to win, not simply because you wanted to hurt the other person, but because you wanted to prove yourself. And that's why, that's why a lot of times these fights would happen in school, because for one thing, you're doing it for the sake of everybody watching. You want people to see because you want to win and you want to be the tough guy. And also, you know that someone's going to break it up. At least they used to break these fights up. Now they just let the kids go until someone's dead, I guess. But at the time, like, they'd break it up. And you knew that. You knew that someone was going to break it up. So it was more of like a performance. And you might say that that's wrong. We shouldn't encourage boys to behave that way. Okay, well, now we don't encourage it. We say that boys shouldn't worry about proving their toughness and certainly using violence to do that. We don't want that. Well, this is what we get instead. We still get the violence. In fact, we get more of it. But now the point of the violence is actually just to inflict as much harm on the other person as you possibly can, just for the sake of it. If you jump some other kid and it's 5-on-1 and you're stomping on his head while he's on the ground, you obviously have not proven your toughness. Like, you haven't proven anything. You've only proven that you're a cowardly, sucker-punching little frankly, is what you've proven. But you have inflicted maximum harm on the other person, which is the point now. That's the point. That's the goal, is just to let me harm. And you heard one, as they quoted one of the kids, he should be dead. Like, that's the way they look at it. Let's just kill him. You stomp on a kid when he's on the ground, that's attempted murder. You might kill him. And that's what you're trying to do. Why are you even trying to do it? I mean, most of the time, if you were to poll these kids or talk to them afterwards, like, what did that other kid do that was so wrong? Why were you? They wouldn't even be able to explain it. They're not even, like, mad. It's just inflicting maximum harm on another person for the fun of it, just for the sake of it. And that's what's become so common, and it's not good. I'll put it that way. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.